The cow made half of Genshin Impact's community cry, and that hasn't come out yet. Nothing official, not even drip marketing. Imagining when this cow, for whatever it is, turns out it can do more harm than Raiden. Or that chlorine, and that is the power creep of the DPS Electro. For the community of Genshin weeps at the time also, because in the lore of Nouvelette, he was stronger than Raiden. And yes, gentlemen, there were loud screams and screams. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a rather delicate subject I touched on in another previous video, but the reality line thing is already going on. The truth that people who are more than a certain age will seem rather absurd to you, everything that's going on with Genshin and people's hatred, but today we're going to see the kit of the character that has caused all this. So leave a good like, a good Bennett ulti, subscribe, leave a good comment. With that guy, and thank you for enjoying and watching the video and channel. Thank you for your agreement and support. It doesn't cost you anything, it's free. Recommends and position the video. Enjoy if you're eating that it's very rich or what you're doing while you watch the video. Watch out for certain things you do while watching the video. Welcome to guests to the directs, and let's go with the Varesa kit. La Varesa is one of the first activities of the Electrovakita with descending sentence. Well, the first of them has a base attack of 340, it's high. So let's remember that if we compare it to gaming, which is the down reference. Today, gaming makes vaporized, and now with melted Citali that can give 1/2 to its total damage, and this I explain because we have to understand that Varesa being Electro can make aggraves, that is, it does not become a harm or by far to become 1/2 as a melt. Or you can also play variants or overload with many, with Shilonen, Xianyun, and Ianzan, which is an Electro Monkey, but it would be like a hyper carry by Raiden, but with the new characters from NATLAN and Xianyun. What does that mean? For literally being in many ways almost twice as high as gaming. And this until the calm character comes out. We'll take it very calmly. I'll tell you my opinion at the end of this video, but everything can change before the character comes out. I mean, it seems strong but careful because there may be many factors. So, scale with critical probability, and this is good because Varesa could activate Obsidian Z with 40+ probability and 15 damage inflicted, but there's the new set of the 5.5 that gives downhill damage up to 100% downhill damage is a set. For her, for gaming, for Xiao, and for anything else me might want to play in descendings, and this already more or less begins to help to balance it. Now your normal attack descending loaded and so on, there's a lot of text and a state called that you have surely read a lot in the kits, but because it is complex and requires a rotation. A little long to explain, I just have to explain to you that this state of fiery passion makes you do more damage in general, and combines with a talent that will also give you more damage in descendings, between 25 and 50% of damage in descendings, and that has to do with the noctambulism points, because all NATLAN characters like Inish or Mualani, they put you an infinite text of that points up from that down, and then at the end, are very easy to use because Varesa is the same. Varesa is very easy to use but has an amazing text. Now, elementary ability, this is very interesting. The elementary ability is for you to understand me. Similar to Shilonen's elementary ability, you do like a dash that passes through the enemy, and there you generated the particles and activate the effects of your elemental. This elemental, it has 9 seconds of cooldown, and it has 2 loads with which if you pass in the field about 15 seconds, which is what you're going to be on the field like Shia, or 15 seconds is going to give you time to throw 3 elementals. 2 for the loads you already have in the first base rotation, and 1 because at 9 seconds you get the cooldown again, but it's just that. When you throw one of the instances of the ulti reset the cooldown of your elemental, then you'll throw away the elementary skill all the time, if and not an average of about 3-4 times. By rotation in a mini rotation that will be repeated of about 4-5 seconds that you will to repeat about 3-4 times. Now I explain it seems very complex, but in the end it is very easy, and then elementary skill puts you in a state of noctambulism, and the bar of noctambulism is filling up and emptying all the time, is not like Mualani that emptying you end. This has sounded very rare, and more so with the cow that gives milk. It is not like Kinish than when you fill the Bar pulls the ball and then empties again and then fills it up. It's a bar that every time is a strong descending with certain active passives disappears, but when you insert it again, a descending you win half of the bar, and by inserting the elemental you also earn points, etc. It's not like going up and down in a lot of text, is it? What's so good about this elementary ability that activates? Let your first normal attack directly enable a load, and that load enables you directly a jump, and that jump directly enables you to a descending with which you make a normal, and in the case of a descending with a normal attack, and this facilitates it. It is that simple. The the elemental is that it has 2 loads that has 9 seconds of cooldown that activates a buff for 5 seconds, and that allows you to make the right combo. Then the ulti, initial ulti, is a descending. Then it has another scale that you're going to be able to repeat about 3-4 times per normal rotation, and it does 0. 3 times per rotation, which is another 724% scaling, is the double scaling that gaming taking into account. That she's not going to melt like gaming that does the double damage with Civilly comes up with, which we could keep in mind that she could have her total damage approaching the total damage of gaming. If we take into account then constellations and so on, we should also see the minimums to Chero, right? And then the skill, i.e. the ultimate. This is the funny thing, resets his cooldown so you can second and third ulti when you reset the cooldown. 30 cost, with which if you have to throw the ulti anti at the beginning of the rotation and then a second and a third ulti, you will have to use 130. Let's remember that the current limit is Raiden and Ye with 90 cost. That is huge. But since she has many elementals, you will throw 3-4 elementals by rotation, you generate many particles and reabsorbs with Varesa. What's all this for, Phil? This is a lot of text. What's going on? So basically this whole set of elementary skills states a lot of text. Points of Night, Soul Up, Down, Energies, Cooldowns is for the combo to be something like. This will polish when you're playing the character and change with the C2 very little, but the combo is something. As well as elemental ulti, just start a normal attack that will enable you to jump and fall a descending, you will be enabled the ulti. And you will be able to throw the ulti then the other descending and 4 times in theory with the C2 i.e. it's like a combo where you make 3 descending ones. One that will be trigger with your elemental, one is triggered with the normal attack that enables you to load, which you then jump and make a descending, and a descending with your ultimate, which is a descending. Stronger than the previous ones by scaling, and in rotation to Chero, you can do between 9 and 10. Downs that are practically more than gaming. Gaming in fact blows up enemies, but I think it does about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 if you do it right, 7, 8 if you are already Jesus Christ, but the 8 down, you're gonna lose certain buffos. She can make between 9 and 10 down, because it makes them very fast, and gaming, that's number 1, and number 2, this cost of 134. Throw the first ulti of 70 to the second ulti of 30, and the third of 30 will make it very possibly to Chero, because there's a constellation that gives it a lot of energy. Obviously Joyo Breeze had to do this. You're gonna have to wear maybe a recharge clock, or if you don't have a recharge clock, maybe a lot of substantiating recharge to reach 180 at least, because it's not going to be complicated to have one. I mean, you know, all the time and make the right combo. That in fact, I didn't have this light, now you see me. I'd better give the video a like because you see me a little bit better. I forgot this light now. Talent says you can use the basic skill. Baraha wins another state, plus 5 seconds the elementary. You're going to castrate it 3-4 times, which is state you'll always have it active. But it's to do the right combo that lasts 5 seconds for you to keep up the string, says during this state. You earn 25% damage in descendings. And if you are in this state that I have explained before, and pass in a lot of text when you get the maximum of noctambulism points, but you fix that. During each rotation you win and lose them all. The descending is 50% harm inflicted. And 25 then. How does this talent work? Because at Chero, because the cone then makes this change. At Chero there will be some downs that win the 25 bonus and some downs above all. Those that have the bar full and throw them with the ulti, that is to say, of the 9-10, that you can throw minimum 3, maybe 4 if you do it very well, are going to have 50% damage inflicted, i.e. there will be some downhills. A little more bigger numbers than others, not so much, but a stable damage, very good second encouragement. Ascent when a nice old burst is activated, which is this noctambula explosion that appears in the D screen that the editors are putting over here, is going to be a 30% attack, and you have 2 stacks. which is the only character currently in the game and NATLA that allows for 2 explosions. Noctambulas by rotation Gilonen, then this talent is so. She always wins herself 30% attack that is already strong by itself but apart if you play a team with Shilonen. Example Varesa Nahida Shilonen. Jansan, imagine that you do not have Yansu, there is Sion. Or for example, a mono electro here spoke of Nahida with which is a gravid but a mono electro without Nahida who. It would be a Shilonen Xianyun Yanjan Verity that would be a Verity mono electro. And it would be a good team because in those teams in this Shilonen as active 2 Nightball Burst wins 60 attack. No 30-60 is crazy, is the triple that a nobility set then, is so that also if you play a team with Shilonen or you don't have Xianyun makeup or if you want to play these mono electros, I also compensate you to play with Shilonen, is basically that talent. And then the talent is. The typical ones to explore by NATLA loose points the theme of exchanging between characters, of NATLA in the middle of being flying and those things because it is already strong at this point Verity. Number 1 gameplay is frenetic amazing. Seen from afar as a kind of gaming. Electrobot, when you look a little bit more at gameplay it's even fun. And you notice that you do a lot more things than gaming can be complicated for the players I think they have. I try not to think they have tried to make it elemental ulti and jumpy and downhill like gaming. Even though the elemental already activates the first normal and the first you have to do that. First normal, but then normal, already do the loading and loading what does is the jumping. For jumping already make downs is to say you have to spam the paste button. And already with it, the paste button jumps and makes a descending, i.e. it is frantic and looks better, it will be more. I don't know, it can do more harm than gaming. My guess is the next one looks like it does. The scaled ones seem to do so by the set that gives 100% damage inflicted and seems to do so by Ian-san, which is a very dedicated support for her, for Mavuika, and for NATLA characters alone with her. Ian-san chicks would improve much more, but if not equal with C2. Ian-san improves a lot, I think by the... I don't know what you think in the comments, but I think by deduction if you're going to try to make this 5-star character improves gaming and descending, I think. But I also believe that being a NATLA character and practically minus Chaska, all NATLA characters have to be able, Creeper too, or all of the above that existed, I think will also follow that power creep line and it's going to become the best carry electro. At what point this would be at die, repeat, this is deduction. I'm not the ugly one, but I think I'd be above Raiden and Chlorind, and at least even. If you want to get very crazy, capable C2 Eon-san C2 Verity Chinsiu, Verity Chikes, Eon-san, and there complementing with wet. I don't know to that point, I don't know anymore and will have to. Waiting for the character to come out, but they want to do all this for sure. And they want me to be another power creep. And of course now with everything that has mounted on social networks and advertising that, has this character surely even more the truth and constellations to finish the video. Is 674 base attack as the very high mid splitter, 44 critical damage to substat as the mid splitter, and then the passive gives you 28% more attack. That is, it's crazy how many bufos this gets. Character, and then the other passive makes you win according to conditions 28 critical damage in descendings and another 40 of critical damage in descendings. This can make that in many chances you pass 250 critical damage. And you have to balance and calculate, but also that passive that divides those 28 and 40 critical damage independently is also so that not all characters with this catalyst become broken to descending. Examples A. Rare descending Barbara that I think you haven't seen what Barbara does, but with this gun may improve a rare to descending Novelette, which can also add 200, 300 per descending one. This Itali to Crio's descending also that can do very crazy things. Mona A. Downs, for example, with Siangling 2, and stuff like that, and that gun leveled him that way. But of course, the total critical that gives you a high base attack, 28% attack, and gives you 44 cost. Plus 40 of the passive 84 plus the other 28 gives you more than 100 critical damage that weapon, i.e. practically, if you don't have the gun, you have to have about 150 just critical damage on. Zobstat at most, and there's scale with probability, it's crazy really constellations. Of 1 the effect of passive talent this, I said that sometimes it gives 25 and another 50 if it is in state. The Freddy Passion happens to give you 50% all the time, i.e. you will go to 25% more year in descendings innings. More than half of the downwards of the rotation is damage, is quite damage, and is strong, and then the... Besides, it's going to give you 35% more attack. This is crazy. It's going to be all over, And it's going to get a lot of downing bufos with it in June. And with the set in tow. With his weapon that doesn't make sense, it's strong. It's a 25 damage inflicted, but not on everyone. They're downfalls, but in a few, but more than half of the rotation and 35% extra attacker. C2A is strong because here comes madness. First, there's a state called Apex Drive of his ulti that is now going to activate all the time with what will always give you in the ulti scale. That there is superior in the descending damage summary, i.e. is more damage of descending similar to the combination of the cone, but here comes the stronger part, each descending, each you go. To give 11.5 of energy to see that without an internal CD of a second, nothing weird, which means that if not. But once you get the C2, it is quite possible that you no longer need 180 recharge, but 130, 148. More normal thing, and you can already build everything because critical proportion and attack and mastery if you go. If you're not going to a great and you're going to mono electro, then no master's degree. But if you're going to a great with it, mastery there, we will see that it is stronger, we will not play it, and we will try it live then. Becomes very broken, because each descending regenerates you 11.5 of energy, and that ulti of 30 of cost. You'll normally make 2 downhills before you throw that ulti off, which means it goes from cost to cost of 30. Less than 10 to less cost of less than 10 literally. And the ulti of 70 surely at the end. Last 3 downs pass cost 70 surely make 3 downs to finish. The rotation and you stay at cost of 40 in your ulti normal, i.e. you pass cost of 130. Let's say a normal rotation at the cost of 60 such a thing, and enabling you perhaps the possibility of time of 3 combos of about 4 or 5 seconds. As I said, you have Chero 4 combos, since here you do not. You already have problems with the energy, and your elementary ability is reset with which you can pull 4 elemental 4 altis, and maybe instead of 9-10 descending, because reaching up to 12 downhill is not strong. It is strong, it might be limited, or maybe depends on constellations, or that perhaps the long energy issue is an important issue and does. 0 requires so much recharge that you can no longer take advantage of the rest of the stats, and damage is more limited to Chero is also possible because in NATLAN they are doing a lot of thematic. Character 0 is interesting, is striking, and makes big numbers in Genshin and Mualani are exactly so, but with constellations suddenly become a madness, specifically Genshin already. You know that with the balls they go to 500,000, or even I put 1,000,000 of a ball without Genshin, and then more balls of 600,000 continuous, that is to say, it may be for whales, not if gaming is. Very good does 6, and base does everything well does 1. It is very possible that Varesa to Chero already does everything very well. Well, and get positioned, at least I believe, and we will see it. And I can make mistakes in the top 10 teams of the game and to C2. Because perhaps of all this that I told you to improve to Chlor and improve to Raiden and, in my opinion, capable, they put it at the level of capable gaming. We will not see it little more. Let me comments after seeing the kit that you think of the kit, or that you think can happen with this character takes care to have very good day, don't be Mini and Kaito.